All right. What is up, guys? We have Ed here. Let's go. All right. And we were going to talk about finishing out our directory. And here's what's really crazy. I'm going to jump in and share my screen. Last time we were talking, basically, we talked a lot about Troy. He was basically said, well, why don't you just use Aspire Builder? And I thought about that. And I actually started to build out this in Aspire Builder. And as crazy as this is turning out to be really, really awesome in Aspire Builder. And here's the cool thing about Aspire Builder is it's out of all the building platforms that we have, building a website in Aspire Builder is probably the absolute easiest thing there is as far as building a website. And so here's what's cool is one of the things that I was worried about is how are we going to get the user from the site to Bubble? And so if we go into this directory signup, check out the signup process that I built for this. So as we look at this, all we have to do is, you see how it says our holistic health providers up top and then providers get listed for free. Essentially, you would just have to switch out the words. Like now you just have to say whatever your business you're going to give for free here, and then switch out the name. That's it. And then essentially this is the page. So we have this where it's like you could actually put in your information of your full name, your email address. And so all of this information here, and then we have it where they could enter it in their company. I'm going to make it where you could have a little bit more information. You see how it has right now just test. I have profile image because we want to actually have the user have profile pictures. So here's what's really cool is there's two things in Bubble. There's the back end. We essentially want to still connect this to a database. We still want to be able to do this, to be able to dynamically create if we want to rank this in a systematic SEO way, this is why we want to use Bubble. Bubble gives us the ability to update, delete, all of that stuff. So here's what we do. If I hit detect data, this is in the backend workflows. If I hit detect data, you can see I could copy this link. And then inside Aspire Builder, there's this little thing called applications. And then if you hit webhooks, so I go to add new application and go down to webhook, and I paste this URL right here in. And then now if we have new order and then new contact activity. So these two checked. And if I hit save, what's going to happen is anytime that there's a new order right here, if I hit send, what happens is it just sent all this information right to here, to our back end of Bubble. So now we could trigger our CRM to send out emails, or this is our data of that Bubble, of that record of this customer. Well, also, if I hit save, if I hit detect again, this is the main part. So now after they just joined they just entered in all their information, but now they can hit their listing plan. And so if we want to have a free listing, it's no payment required. If they want to do a featured promoted listing, it's $47 a month. If they want to do a featured promoting for a whole year, it's $397 for a whole year. And now we have a little business here.
Very nice.
This is the process. So essentially all we have to do to set this whole directory up is going to be switching out some information for whatever business that we're wanting to add to our directory, and then connecting it to Bubble, this database right here. And essentially all of it will be mapped. I'll hit complete order, and then essentially it'll send that data over here. And now this maps the entire thing. If you look right here also, if I hit show, it actually will send, whenever we upload the email and stuff, or the actual image, it will send the image over here also. So literally we have everything that we need to create a directory with a beautiful front end that we can just build from this. Really easy. Yeah, much easier to build with this now for us. It's just not active yet, but that's all right. Okay. But I did connect my domain. But Aspire Builder hosts all of our, basically if I go into contacts now, you're going to see Aspire Builder hosts all of our contacts. I could pick up the phone and I could call this person. I could go to emails and automation and I could click automation, and I could set up all the automation to follow up with this person. And now this handles everything that we need to handle the front end of our directory. Bubble is just the technical part of our directory. We just have to set up a couple pages in Bubble and then map some of the information, and the entire thing is done. So it's going to be a really, really simple process for us if we ever even want to duplicate this, because all we're going to have to do is switch out a couple pages or a couple like text and a logo, and then switch out basically like what it says on this homepage, essentially, which is really cool. Like we just have to switch out the text, which is really, really easy in Aspire Builder for us to build.
So, question, as far as the database goes, like, could you theoretically use your own database if you knew how to use the MySQL in your cPanel, or is there an extra benefit of using Bubble?
You 1000%. The reason why the extra benefit from using Bubble comes from one thing. Okay, so if we go into the settings and we go into SEO meta tags. So one, if we just want to use this for lead generation, and we don't really care about getting our clients' results as getting them found on Google or anything, then this doesn't necessarily matter. However, if you look inside Bubble, essentially Bubble says add pages to add to sitemap file. So this part right here is highly important, because what we could do is I have this checkbox, add pages to sitemap, and then I have check providers. That makes it whenever we actually search up the doctor's name or search up those businesses, it's going to rank those databases. It's going to actually rank our actual data. So now when our doctor gets signed up, it's going to rank that data on Google. Now, could you do it another way? You absolutely can if you find a way to like custom code to make it where essentially all Bubble is doing for us behind the scenes, now that we're talking about deep custom code, all it's doing, it says add pages to sitemap file. If you could find a way to code your own sitemap, you don't have to do this. Or expose a sitemap, you could do that too. However, Bubble just does it for us. They handle all the SEO, they handle all of that for us as far as the directory part. What we're using with Aspire Builder is we're separating our, great job, Troy, by the way, you kind of came up a little late, but nonetheless this is in Aspire Builder now, and it is working so much better. And so essentially what we're doing is we're separating our sales process from our SEO, systematic SEO database. If you want to do SQL, here's what's cool. We can literally, with this right here, we can connect a CSV, right? So if we wanted to, and we just wanted to use this strictly as a lead magnet to have people come, and our primary focus wasn't to get SEO, right? That's not our primary focus. We just wanted to get something up and launched. You could go to the code snippets, and we absolutely 1000% could publish a Google Sheets, essentially, and you could use a Google Sheet as a directory. Like, as crazy it is. So you could use a full Google Sheet as a directory, and essentially like that whole entire Google Sheet is your database. Or you could use SQL, so if you do know how to do something like that, you absolutely can. The only reason I would suggest Bubble is mainly because of this ability to expose the entire pages as a sitemap. So gotcha. I'm essentially creating a main domain. You can see holistichealthproviders.com. And then I'm going to have one called find.holistichealthproviders.com. And that find.holistichealthproviders.com is just going to be going to a Bubble search page. That's it. And then it's just going to do my database searching and all that stuff, which I'm going to expose the whole entire database besides my customers. So all I'm sending over the customers, it's just going to send that to the customers, and then my database will be exposed so that people could search it, use it, all of that stuff inside the site. And so connecting all of this for us in the future, all we have to do is switch out this one single checkout page, rebuild our automations, right? So our emails and automations, and then essentially like our entire front end is connected. Okay. Now the back end connected, basically I'm going to make that really easy. All we have to do is upload the database and then adjust like 1 or 2 like pages, and then the entire thing is done. So both of them should be relatively fast. I think we're going to be able to achieve can we recreate this in a week once this thing is fully done? Yes. And so my wife is going to completely brand this website for us, so it will look beautiful. And then that will be our template starting spot. So run this. Yeah. So yeah, Troy, this is a Spire Builder. And literally this whole thing was built in the Spire Builder. Check out my favorite part of this whole thing is right here. Let's see. Right? Is this part right here. This is the checkout process. So literally we could add upsells, downsells, order bumps right onto this process too. So they're right here. Like this is the whole like checkout process. I mean, like this is super clean because of the Spire Builder. And so
that's sweet. I'm glad I got your message, and thanks. I'm glad that it all made sense, kind of have more of that overarching sort of, I get it, but I knew that you'd be able to, approve and make sure it makes sense. So I'm glad it did.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I thought about it more after I was reading your messages, thinking, kind of how I mentioned last week about stages, and this could be the stage 1, and then the stage 2. Once you get to more of a platinum level or an enterprise level, then maybe there would be more need for operating in Bubble a bit more. But you could just bridge that gap from Spire Builder. So that's awesome. It just makes me feel good to know that it made sense to you and you appreciated it.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the beginning, what I showed is in a Spire Builder, there's this little gear icon on the left-hand side. And you can do this. And then if you go to applications, you could send what's called webhooks. So webhooks you could set up on whenever these events. So if a new order happens or a new contact is added. So because of those events, we could send to whatever domain we so choose. Well, inside Bubble, you could set up right here, you could set up a back-end workflow to catch that data. Right. So now we could catch any of that data we want to send, and it sends it over. Yep. And it sends it over right to this URL. So now anytime there's an event over here in the Spire Builder, we could get it into Bubble. So now you don't even have to have your users ever sign into Bubble. Everything is handled in a Spire Builder. And if we ever need to have them adjust their listing, I'm going to have it where it sends them an email login, a magic link login. So there's no passwords involved.
Right.
And so now it's
that's so epic. That's freaking awesome.
And like literally the customer reset, password reset management it's going to be incredibly simple for us. And so all they have to do is so I definitely seen this being as a cornerstone product for dang near any industry that I would ever say, like, we want to step into. Building a directory first, because you could see we already have a product. All of a sudden I have a free offer and I have 2 offers that cost me absolutely $0 to fulfill. I have one for a whole year. That's $397 for a whole year. Heck yes. I have the option to add a promo code. So if I do give anyone like a fast action, hey, here's $100 off for the first year, I could literally do that. And then I get a sale, right? Anytime you offer discounts, you get sales, right? So, but this is just easy money to prove that this works. And now we're look how easy it is to switch. Like this is like a beautiful little setup system. And then it sends it over to Bubble. And now we have our entire search. And so I'm going to make this super easy for anyone that wants in the future to quickly use this and upload it. And here's what's cool. My goal is to be able to take this entire thing, have my wife brand it, make it look beautiful. And then I got Ed some data. I only got Ed data in his little like town region, but I mean, he could literally create a local directory if he wanted for all of his like plumbing type of friends and buddies. And then essentially everyone could get on something like that, or he could make it a strictly niche directory of just his type of services that he does. And we start to expand over time, so.
Right. Well, if you think about it, if he makes a directory with everybody that does what he does and gets that SEO friendly, then essentially it's a way of getting all the leads that would come through any of those streams, because it's kind of a guerrilla marketing sort of tactic to kind of swooping in and casting a net and catching all the leads based on a general search. But you're the one who, with your SEO and list buildings, not list building, but directory skills can create. So that's makes all the sense in the world. That's so brilliant. You could do that. It's all with realtors, like in Colorado Springs, all the realtors. But then when people are searching, then they have to come through your funnel, and then you can kind of funnel them a different direction towards you.
100%. Yes.
Unless they pay to be ranked higher, and then you're still getting paid.
Still getting paid. So 1,000%. I mean, $47 a month. If you do get one customer a month from my site, it pays itself off.
Yeah.
Like, that's such an easy sell. Literally, if I could say, if you get one customer in a whole year, it pays itself off for my customer, right? So that's what my year price is, like $397 for a whole year. $397. I get you one customer, you have a $2,000 customer. If I get you one customer, it's worth it for a whole year. Do you think I could get you one customer in a year? If I get you two, you double or triple your money. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things where it's an incredibly easy sell, but it's dang near a free product for us. This is a completely free product to have them on. And here's the thing. Every single time somebody gets listed on our directory, it becomes a search term on our directory. It's a complete win-win to have more people on our directory. The more people we have, the more search terms we get. The more search terms we get, the more traffic the directory gets. The more traffic the directory gets, the more people we get on our directory. It becomes it increases over time. This becomes the marketing tool for everything that we need with this.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking right now is, because I was just on my other mastermind call, and my buddy's in town, so that's probably why I was late on this call, and I jumped off the other one, and I'm outside and whatever. But is through GHL, you can select pages to be indexed in search, and then the training that was just on before I jumped on this call was all the different Google, and those are recorded, and I'll be able to report more clearly because like I said, my friend's in town, so I was only kind of to watch it here and there. Was Google tags and Google indexing, but the tags actually, which you're probably familiar with, actually can report through analytics the scrolling, what's been touched, and all kinds of stuff. So there's multiple Google, I forget another one that he was showing, but so those could all apply with this as well, and indexing that the directory.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. Now, here's the cool thing is Aspire Builder is absolutely phenomenal for SEO. The reason why we would want to use Bubble is because we are going to be systematically ranking these sites. What we're going to be doing with this, that's separate. The reason why we would want Bubble is because I'm going to upload a whole entire CSV of every city and state in the United States. Well, what's going to happen is that's going to create a page in Bubble for every city and state in the United States. If I was to do that in here, I would literally, no joke, have to click on new page, click on page, come down here and click. That would be insane. Or I would hit duplicate, change out the word, make it say not Las Vegas, say LA. And I would have to do that manually with every single one. So for me, if I was building a local directory, and you could absolutely do that. If you're building a local directory and you just want people to do that, super easy. I would literally just make it where they get signed up and it sends the data to a Google Sheet, and then you connect the Google Sheet as your database. That's how fancy I would get with that. And then you could embed the Google Sheet right on here. Now, the flip side is I would spend, if we want to do this systematic and rank these, we're going to make it where we upload the entire the entire absolute, like, we're going to make it where we upload our entire database of all the cities. And then whenever they search, this is going to be our page. It's going to look something like this. Let's see. Discover the best holistic health providers in Las Vegas, right? And then it's going to say top 10 or top whatever amount providers in Las Vegas. So for us, this, all we have to do is the database is going to switch out this keyword right here of our city. Well, there's thousands of cities, so I don't want to make thousands and thousands of pages on my site. I just want to upload a CSV, and I'm ranked on thousands of low-hanging keywords as best as I possibly can. So that is the play on that, because I want that traffic from that. So that's the option there. However, you could do a CSV, or you could use your own database. Totally up to you.
Yeah, what I love most is that we're taking this step by step. You know, let's build the directory. Let's connect, you know, Aspire Builder with Bubble. Where can we do this? And then, you know, once we get this, and then you'll get all the pages, and then I'll rewatch or watch, you know, thoroughly that training that just happened on my other group, and then I'll share that, because I think that would be a next step after getting the Bubble linked, getting it all appropriately linked with Google and Google Analytics, and being able to see everything. So it's awesome. I like that we're doing it in stages, as which was kind of the inspiration for what I said last week. Is just, you know, otherwise you can kind of drown in everything you can see, and it's just, you know, step by step. It's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
It definitely has been helping, like, one step at a time. And here's
I can even hear it in your voice. I feel like there's more. There's what do they call those, micro goals? You know, people speak highly of those, because I think in your voice there's a bit more peace and a bit more. It's a bit more settling, because you are taking these steps, you know, having these micro goals. So when you always have that carrot dangling out in front of you, you're never settled, because you're always chasing the carrot. This way, you're kind of taking a bite of the carrot, then you're taking another bite of the carrot. So I think that it's probably even good for your health and peace of mind to kind of go on these little micro goals, baby steps.
Indeed, right?
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah. So, and here's what I love too. Inside of Aspire Builder, what I'm going to do with this is once I'm fully set up doing this, you guys are kind of going with me live as I set it up. So you guys get to hear the flaws and the holes and what's, you know, like how we made the switch from last week. Well, when I'm going to do a full training on how to set this up start to finish eventually, whenever I get this all set up for us, or, you know, for this. But here's what's cool is inside here, I mean, like, setting up your orders in your store inside of Aspire Builder is incredibly easy. You know, so whenever you need to set up your Stripe, you know, for your payments, like, everything is handled for us really easy in here. So all of the stuff that should be hard, that Bubble we would have had it in Bubble, this handles all of it. So this setup is going to be a really cool little setup and, like, build for us to use and leverage. So I don't feel like it's going to be hard for any one of us to get set up and copy this system and get it done in a weekend, you know, for just following the videos type thing. Like, and it's going to be something that it's like immediately a software product. Like, I feel like I could teach somebody how to set this up, scrape stuff, set this up, and you're up and running, and you have a lead product in less than a weekend. You know, I definitely feel like we could do this, like, all the time with this. So, yeah. So hopefully that answered your question, Ed, why we would use Bubble also. You don't have to. There is just benefits just so you could rank better on Google with that. That's just thinking about that. So, yeah, with that option. So, yep. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just going to be continue doing this, building this one out. Pretty much we keep getting closer. And then you can see all of this is still like mostly like the template that I started with inside of Aspire Builder. So you could see where it looks like of just very starting, but every single, like most of the pages are going to be built in Aspire. The things that are not going to be built in Aspire are going to be the things that we need searchable. So that's pretty much that, searchable in the actual database. So everything else is going to be in Aspire. So yeah, which makes it incredibly more simple. So, and then now after that, well, then we start to get to talk about fun things like setting up your automation, right? Setting up your automations, setting out campaigns, and how to actually find these people, like, because one, we're scraping, but also how to reach out to them properly. And you guys are just going to see the progress of this. Like, I consider this a side project, as crazy it is, but this isn't a side project because this is literally fueling my main business. So this is almost a side project that for once is in line with helping my main business, which, if you guys know, like most of the time I'm doing crypto and then helping nurses and doctors, and it's like, it's not even close. Like, so yeah. So, yeah. I dig this.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Any questions? What's up, Jameson? How you been, man? Glad you showed up. Good to see you.
Doing well, man. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm zoning out a little bit.
Good. At least you showed up. Glad you're here,
Yeah,
man.
sorry, I haven't been in the last couple classes, man. I was really bummed I missed them. I've been jumping through hoops lately with my business, so not a bad problem to have, though.
Nice. Yeah. Ed said he was busier than ever too, so that's cool.
Well,
Do you-
it sounds like you. I'm just my buddy's in town and whatever. I wanted to make sure I jumped on. It sounds like you went through the nuts and bolts of the main stuff. If I miss anything, I'll check it on recording. But I think I'm going to bounce.
Sweet.
You know, not every call has to be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours like we usually do. So, yeah,
That's
this is great. That's great progress, though, and I love I love it, and I look forward to building and using it. Next steps. Love you guys. I'm gonna bounce though. All right,
Sounds
see ya.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much going to be keep building the directory. Once we connect that final piece of actual setting it up where we can see the data and all that stuff, hopefully it'll be way easier. And then we could give a couple options with different databases. I think literally even a CSV could be a database. So really anything that you actually choose. So yeah. Bubble will be useful for ranking is what I'm going to be using it for. But we could definitely, as I show you guys, I'll show different ways. I don't know the SQL, but I'm reading about it in my book. So hopefully I'll be one of the next things I learn. So yeah. But all right, cool guys. I'm excited to build this. If you guys have any questions over the week, hit me up. So thank you guys for showing up. Love you guys. Later.
Take it easy, man.
Much love, man. Thank you.
Indeed.